Hey, so in today's lesson, we're talking about 10 reasons why your English is not improving. Now, these 10 things are common habits and behaviors among English learners that sometimes stop you from improving your English as much as you want to or as much as you can. And sometimes you don't even realize that these behaviors or these things are hurting you, or you don't even realize that you're doing them in the first place. So this lesson is not to make you feel bad if you have been doing any of the things we talk about today. First of all, don't worry and don't feel bad. The purpose of this lesson is to help you recognize these habits or these behaviors that are maybe not helping you, and to give you some solutions so you know exactly what you should be doing to improve your English as much as you can and make sure that all your hard work pays off. So let's take a look at these 10 common behaviors and some of the solutions that you can use to make sure that you improve your English. Ready? Let's get started. So the number one reason why your English might not be improving is because you are inconsistent. Now, consistent means that you do something regularly all the time. It's a habit for you. It's a normal part of your routine. And if you're inconsistent, it literally means the opposite. It means that you just do something once in a while, sometimes, occasionally, not very often. And consistency is key when it comes to improving your English. Think about anything that you learned to do throughout your life, whether it was riding a bicycle or driving a car or cooking or doing your makeup. All of these things required consistency. It's not that you could cook one meal and become a master chef or drive a car one time and be an amazing driver. It just doesn't work like that, and English is exactly the same. So consistency is key. If you don't use a skill, you lose it. We have a saying in English, use it or lose it, or if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So if you don't use your English, you're gonna lose your English skills. You need to use your English consistently. Now, here's the solution. Here's what you can do to be consistent. Create a schedule for yourself. Everybody is busy, everybody is tired, everybody gets stressed. It's totally normal, but you need to make English a regular part of your routine, a regular part of your schedule. So you literally have to schedule time or designate time or set aside time to practice, to use and engage with the English language. If that is 30 minutes a day or 1 hour a day, whatever works for you, you just need to create a reasonable, logical, practical schedule that you can stick to and be consistent with that schedule. Now, I do want to say that it's not okay to practice just once in a month. You do need to make English a regular part of your life, a regular part of your routine, and be consistent with it. The second reason why your English might not be improving is because you are too passive. You are learning passively. Now, what exactly is passive learning? Passive learning is basically one-sided learning where you're just trying to get or absorb information, but you're not actually doing anything or creating anything or taking any action to use all of the information that you learn. This is passive learning. You're just kind of sitting there and expecting English to enter your brain and then your English will improve, but this is not effective. You need to learn actively. So what does this mean? It means that you need to actually use what you are learning and what you are studying. So when you listen to English, when you look at things in English, when you read things in English, this is more of passive learning. But when you speak and when you write, when you actually create or make something with your English, this is active learning. So here is your solution. Whenever you study something new, whether it's a new grammar point or new vocabulary or a new concept, whatever it is in English, you then need to take that information and actively use it. So here is what that might look like in a simple way. You can write a journal, you can write an email to someone, you can write a story. You can make a phone call, you can start sending voice messages, you can make a video of yourself, you can start a YouTube channel. There's so many different things that you can do to use your English, okay? So again, active learning is when you just kind of scroll through Instagram, but you're not really reviewing anything that you see. You're like, oh, this is interesting, I learned some new stuff, but you never look at it again, okay? Information doesn't magically just enter our brains and stay there. We actually have to go back to it, to review it, and then to produce something or make something or create something with what we have learned. So don't be a passive learner and sit around and expect miracles to happen. Make sure that you are actively, consciously using all of the great stuff that you're learning in English. So the third reason why your English might not be improving is because you are learning irrelevant things. Now, this word irrelevant means not important. It describes something that's not important. You don't need it. So if you are learning vocabulary, topics, concepts, grammar that's not important for your life or not important for your reality, stuff that you're never going to use, you're not going to remember it, and it's not going to help you improve your English. To help you understand this point, I want you to think back to when you were a student in school, when you were a middle school student or a high school student. Think about a class or a subject that you didn't really like, but you had to do the class or you had to take that subject in school. So for me, my example is going to be science. I didn't really like science or math. I didn't really like theoretical subjects, but I had to do them like most people. So when I was a student in high school and I took science class, I did my homework. I tried to memorize concepts and words and information and theory for my tests. I did my project and all of that stuff. So I spent hours, like most other students, trying to learn information to pass an exam or to pass a test, okay? So I consciously sat there and studied information, but in my head I thought, why am I doing this? Why do I need this? What is the point of this? But I did it anyway, okay? But I took time to study it like most other students do. But if you ask me about that information now, if you ask me about all these concepts and words and the theory that I studied and tried to learn, I actually sat there and tried to do it, I really don't remember any of it. And the reason for that is because the information is irrelevant to me. It's irrelevant to my life, to my profession, to my current reality. So when I was a child, when I was a student, like you listened to your teachers, you did the stuff you were supposed to do because you didn't really have a choice, okay? But now, as an adult English learner, the really cool thing is that you do have a choice. You can decide what is relevant. You can decide what vocabulary you need to study. You can decide what concepts you need to study, what grammar you need to study, what topics you need to study. You are in control of what is relevant for you. And the reality is, when you study or try to study irrelevant things, things that you don't need, you will just not remember them, okay? So keep this in mind. Think of yourself, think of when you were a student in school, something that you studied, but you don't remember now because it's not relevant for you. So don't make the same mistake with your English. Here is the solution for you. Every time you are studying something new, if it's vocabulary, grammar, a topic, whatever it is in English, ask yourself, do I like this? And do I need this? Okay, do I like this? And do I need this in my life now? So what am I going to do with these new words? Am I going to use them in conversations? Can I use them at work? Will they help me with my hobbies? Will they help me meet people? Do I like this and do I need this? Okay, answer these two questions for yourself. if your answer is no, I don't like this, and no, I don't need this, then you don't necessarily need to study it, okay? So improving your English has a lot to do with what you're actually studying. So if you learn and focus on things that are relevant to you and useful to you in your life, then you will remember those things and you'll have a chance to use them. So don't learn irrelevant things. Learn things that you like and that you need. So the fourth reason why your English might not be improving is you are not motivated or you've lost your motivation. Now, motivation is a huge part of learning anything, including English. It's a big part of education. It's a big part of self-improvement. And at different points in our life, we have different things that motivate us to learn. So again, think back to when you were a kid in school. Maybe you were motivated by getting good grades, or maybe you were motivated by impressing your parents or making your parents proud, or making your teachers proud. Or maybe you were motivated by the idea of going to a good university. Whatever it is, everyone was motivated by different things when we were kids, right? And of course, as we grow up and as our lives change and as our goals change, of course, our motivation also changes. So now you might be motivated to learn English in order to get a better job, or in order to move overseas, or get a promotion, or start a business. And if you are trying to improve your English for your professional life, make sure you join Business English Week. It's absolutely free with myself and teacher Tiffany. I will link it down below for you, okay? So it doesn't matter what your motivation is, it just matters that you know what it is, that you have a clear picture of why you are learning English. So why are you learning English? I'm asking you this question now. Why do you want to improve your English? Now, don't just say, I want to improve my English, I want to speak better English, because this is too general. This is not specific enough. So here's your solution. I really want you to take a few minutes. You can pause this video here if you need to, or you can do this right after the lesson is over. I want you to clearly write down why you are learning English. What is motivating you? What is driving you? What is pushing you? And be as specific as you possibly can, okay? So don't just write, I want to speak English. Why do you want to speak English? So some examples of specific goals or specific motivating factors might sound like this. I want to speak English to give confident presentations at work so I can get a promotion. Okay, I want to improve my English in order to pass an IELTS exam to move to Canada. Okay, I want to improve my English so that I can communicate with people in social situations, build connections, and make new friends. All right, so again, what motivates you is going to look different than everyone else. And also your motivations might have changed over the years, and that's totally fine. So again, I'm asking you today to write down what is motivating you to learn English. Why do you want to learn English? What is your goal? Why are you even here, right? So make sure that you have a clear picture of what motivates you in your mind, a clear reason, and then you can align the way that you learn English with that goal. Okay, so tell me down below in the comments why you are learning English, what motivates you. I'm really curious to hear about it. So make sure that you have a clear picture of what motivates you. So the fifth reason why your English might not be improving is you are too focused on what you do not know instead of focusing on what you do know. Now, for example, imagine that you read an article or a blog post or a text in English, and the text is about 1,000 words. Okay, so you read something in English, it's about 1,000 words, and you read it and you notice that there's lots of new words and new phrases and new idioms that you don't know. And let's say you circle all of the new words, okay? And at the end of the text, you see that you've circled 50 new words. You might look at this text with all of these circles and say, 50 new words, there's 50 words I don't know, it's so many, there's so many words I don't know, all right? And sometimes people naturally think that way. But if you look at this article with 1,000 words, okay, you've circled 50 that you don't know. 50 words is only 5%. So that means that you don't know 5%, but you do know 95%. Okay, you don't know 5%, but you know 95%. All right, so it's literally the same thing. It's just another way of looking at this reality. So instead of focusing on the 5% that you don't know and beating yourself up and feeling bad and feeling like you don't know so many words in English and your vocabulary is so weak and all of these things, instead, you need to be like, okay, 95%, I know 95% of this, that's amazing, right? So 5% compared to 95 is pretty good. It's pretty impressive. So here's your solution. The next time you are listening to something or reading something in English, ask yourself, okay, what percentage of this do I understand? Okay, you need to learn to assess yourself a little bit and be self-aware. This is a skill that will really help you with improving your English. Ask yourself, okay, do I understand 50%? Do I understand 70%? And focus on the percentage, the overall percentage that you feel that you understand. And this is a question that I always ask my students in classes. I ask them, okay, how much did you understand? Tell me in percentage. And my students develop a habit of thinking this way. And eventually they learn to shift their way of thinking or change their way of thinking to naturally focus on the percentage that they did understand instead of the small percentage that they didn't understand. And if you can learn to shift your way of thinking or reset your way of thinking to look at what you do understand, not what you don't understand, you will be very impressed and amazed at how much you actually understand, all right? So as an example, you can start with today's lesson. What percentage of this lesson can you understand? Do you understand 50%, 100%, 90%? Maybe I've used some new words or some new phrases that you don't know or that you don't use, but the point is to understand the overall meaning. That is what you need to focus on. So let me know in the comments what percentage of today's lesson you feel that you understand, not how much you don't understand. So the sixth reason why your English might not be getting better is excuses. Now, this is not a popular one, but I need to give you a little bit of tough love here. I do feel very strongly about this one, and I promise it's going to help you. So you might know that I have been a teacher for quite a long time. Since 2010, I've worked with thousands of adult English learners in lots of different countries. And in this time, I have also heard lots and lots and lots of excuses. I've heard many reasons why people cannot improve their English, cannot practice their English. I've heard that people don't have money, don't have time, don't have anyone to practice with. The people in their country don't speak English. There's lots and lots and lots of reasons why people can't learn English. But if you are here right now, that means that you have internet access. And if you have internet access, I promise you that for every single one of these reasons, there is a solution, okay? For every single excuse for why you cannot learn English, there are solutions as long as you have internet access. I'm not saying that it's easy. Not everyone is in an easy situation, and I absolutely understand that. However, there are many more solutions than you realize, okay? So here is the solution for you for this one. First of all, you need to think about what excuses you are making. You need to be honest with yourself and with me. You can write them down below if you'd like, all right? You need to think about why you feel that you can't learn English. What is stopping you? What is standing in your way? Do you feel like you don't have enough time? You don't have enough money? You don't have anyone to speak to? Just think about that. And then you need to find a way through some research to overcome this problem, okay? There are practical ways to fix these excuses or these problems. So let me give you an example, okay? Imagine that you feel that the reason you can't work on your English is because you are busy, you don't have time. Maybe you have a full-time job and a family. Maybe you have a family to take care of. So you have lots of things to do at work and lots of things to do at home. What you need to do in this case is find a way to include English in your life with the things you're already doing, okay? So for example, if you cook for your family, let's say you look for a new recipe online, you're cooking dinner for your family. Just look for that recipe in English. Watch a YouTube video with that recipe in English or read the recipe in English. Let's say that you work online, you work on your computer a lot. Change the settings on your computer to English. It's a small change, but it's a way to include English into your busy schedule. So this concept is about working smarter, not working harder, okay? Working smarter, not harder. So you're busy anyways, you're doing lots of things anyways. Just try to change whatever you can into English if possible. So if you spend 10 minutes in the morning reading the news, read the news in English, okay? So again, it's not gonna be easy for everyone, but you need to take steps and identify areas of your day and areas of your life where you can possibly include English if your schedule is busy. Let me give you another example, okay? A lot of people have told me, I want to speak English, but people in my country don't speak English, okay? This is a very common reason why you might feel like you can't improve your English. However, again, think about the world as a whole, not just the people in your country. Don't just think about, I know that it's hard to do if you haven't left your country. It's hard to think about the world in a bigger way, but this is what you kind of have to start doing. So if you feel like the people in my city or the people in my country, they don't speak English, you need to look outside of your country, and what you can do is find groups of people, groups of English learners who also want to improve their English on the internet, okay? There are so many places online where English learners come together, where language learners come together, where people who are interested in different cultures come together, and it's up to you to do a little research and spend a little time and find those places. So you don't have to rely on the people just in your city or just in your family or just in your country. You need to try to get in touch with other people who have common goals, the same goals as you, and who also want to improve their English, okay? So you need to find a community online of people that can help you and you can help them to practice your English together, okay? And if you feel like you don't have money to take a class to get a teacher, there are so many incredible free resources, teachers who create lessons. For example, these lessons that you watch every week, they're free. There's so much information here. It's a matter of making time and making effort to find this information, all right? So as I said, Teacher Tiffany and I have created Business English Week for you for free. There are 4 free lessons. You can register just down below. There's also a free PDF with 1,000 words and expressions that you can get down below. You can watch these lessons every single week. You can follow on Instagram. There's so much amazing content available on the internet. You just have to find what works for you. Number 7 is translating too much or too often, or relying on your first language too much, okay? Now, I'm not saying never translate anything. Translation apps and translation tools and programs are amazing. Technology is amazing. Translation is very useful, and it's also necessary. Absolutely, sometimes it's necessary. I'm just saying, do not overdo it. Don't translate every single new thing and every single new word. Instead, your solution is focus on the overall meaning, especially when you are listening or when you are reading, okay? When you're listening or reading. So, for example, let's say you are in the middle of a conversation, you're listening to somebody tell a story, and there's some new words that you don't know. Instead of interrupting the story and translating, you should just try to focus on the general meaning of the story. Like I said earlier, think about what you do understand, not what you don't understand. So don't get stuck on 1 or 2 words that you don't understand and stop the whole story and translate, because If you do that, you're interrupting or stopping the natural flow of the conversation, and it has a negative effect on communication. So you don't want to interrupt every time you don't understand something, okay? The same goes if you're watching a TV show, all right? If you keep pausing and translating and playing and then pausing and translating, you're gonna lose the story, you're gonna lose what's going on, okay? Instead, just focus in general on the main story that you're watching, okay? So I'll give you another example with this. Like when I worked in China, it was my first job overseas. I actually went to the cinema to watch a movie, and I thought that the movie would have English subtitles, and it did not, and I did not speak the language, but I had a ticket and I was there. So I watched the entire movie with no subtitles, and I was new in China. I did not understand the language at all, but I watched a 2-hour movie in another language, and I used this skill that I'm telling you about now. I just watched it and tried to follow along the story as much as I could, and I ended up watching the same movie later on in English, and I was surprised at how much I actually understood, at how much I was able to follow, even watching a film, a long film in a language that I really didn't know. So this does work. If you're more focused on the story and what you do understand than what you don't understand, that will really help you. So don't stop and translate when you're reading and when you are listening. First, just listen, try to get the overall meaning, try to guess or predict the meaning of new things just based on the topic and based on the context. And don't just interrupt your train of thought or the other person. Later on, you can always translate and go back if you need to. Or you can use translation as a last option, not as a first option. The next reason why your English might not be improving is you're using the wrong methods or the wrong approach. Now, most people learn how to study or learn how to learn in school, right? We go to school, we listen to what our teacher says, we do tests, we do assignments, we study, we memorize things, and that's how we learn. And then what happens is we grow up thinking that this is how you learn. You learn in this one way. Our education systems teach us that this is how you learn. But there is a problem with the education systems around the world, because they're teaching everyone to do the same things, to memorize the same information. They are assessing everyone the same way. But the reality is that people learn differently. People have different learning styles. People learn for different reasons. People are motivated by different things. But our education systems that we all grew up in and we got used to teach us to do things in one way. They teach us this is right and this is wrong. However, learning English and learning a language, is a skill, okay? Learning a language is a skill. Keep this in mind. So when we go to school and we memorize theory and we memorize facts and we memorize information, we're not learning a skill. We're just memorizing things. But if you are trying to learn English, the purpose is to communicate. The purpose is to communicate with other people. So a language is a skill to communicate. So you must learn it in a different way. All right. So here's the solution for this. You need to discover what your learning style is. So you might have never gotten a chance to do that. You may have always learned one way. You may have always learned from grammar books, or you may have always learned by memorizing and doing tests. And now, again, as an adult, it's your chance to discover how you actually learn. So you can do quizzes online about your learning style. You can search on Google, what is my learning style? And you'll get lots of different quizzes that you can do. So some people are visual learners. Some people learn by doing. I myself am visual. I like to see things and I love to do things. I don't learn just by listening to things, okay? It's very difficult for me. I cannot focus. I can't focus for long periods of time. So once you, first of all, understand that people learn differently and have different learning styles, and you discover what your learning style is, then you can learn in the best way for you. So first of all, do a little bit of research about your learning style as an adult, okay? Secondly, don't be afraid to try new ways of learning or new methods. You can try different programs, different teachers, different methods until you find what works for you. You can also keep a journal or make notes about your learning process. You can write down the things that you like and the things that you don't like. Whenever you feel like you're learning and you're making progress and you're improving, write that down. Write down what you did. You need to keep track of what you're doing and see what's working and see what's not working. And when you find like, okay, I'm studying from this book and it's not working for me, stop studying from the book. Don't keep doing things that are not working for you. So don't be afraid to experiment with different methods of learning English until you find what is effective for you. Number 9 is you only, keyword only, study grammar, or you only study vocabulary. Now, grammar and vocabulary are absolutely important. They are a part of English language, but they are only part, okay? So if you want to improve your overall English communication skills, don't only study grammar, don't only study vocabulary. Here is your solution. Whatever you study, whatever you're learning, if you're learning a new grammar point, go out and use it in your real life. You need to practice it and use it in your real life, okay? If you learn some new words or some new vocabulary, go out and use them, okay? So don't get me wrong, grammar is an important part of a language and vocabulary is an important part of a language. You need these things, okay? But you need to find a balance between studying and then using or producing with the language that you are learning, all right? So if you want to improve your vocabulary, you can check out the Weekly English Words membership. It's an amazing monthly membership that myself and teacher Tiffany have created. It helps you improve your vocabulary bank, teaches you how to talk about different topics, and you can learn about a new topic every single week. There's brand new lessons every week. It's a great membership. You can check it out down below. But the whole point is that we are giving you the tools to then take away and use. So through the lessons that we're teaching you, through the vocabulary, the expressions, the topics that we're discussing, we are giving you the tools to discuss those topics with other people in your real life, okay? So it's not just about putting things into your brain, it's also about using all this new language that you've put into your brain, all right? So if you wanna check out the Weekly English Words membership, I'll link it down below for you. We made it to the end of the list. Number 10 is not spending enough time on your English. So not that you don't have time, just that you're not spending time. So if you really want to get great at communicating in English, spending a few minutes a day is not going to be enough, okay? So the less time you spend, the less results you're gonna see. The more time that you spend exposing yourself to English, using English, practicing your English, reviewing your English, the better and the more results that you are going to see, okay? That's a general rule and an easy concept to understand. The less time and effort, the less results. The more time and effort, the better and the greater the results are going to be. And here is your solution if you're not spending enough time. Of course, you can create a schedule for yourself and set aside time for your English, but in addition to that, what you can do is just use English for things that you already like, for things that you already do, for things that you already enjoy, okay? So use English for things that you like. That way, you're not looking at the time and staring at the clock and checking how much time you've been studying or how much time you've used English because you're enjoying it, okay? We have a saying in English, time flies when you're having fun. When you're enjoying yourself, time just passes and you don't even realize it, okay? So if, let's say you're at a party with friends and you're having an amazing time and you're there for 5 hours, you're not looking at the time like, oh, I've been here for 5 hours. 5 hours flies by, right? So if you use English in situations that you already enjoy, then you will not be looking at the time and the time will not be an issue for you anymore. So If you like to go to parties and speak to people in English, okay? If you like to cook, watch recipes in English, read recipes in English. If you like makeup tutorials, watch makeup tutorials in English. If there is a TV series that you like, watch it in English with English subtitles instead of watching it in your language or using subtitles in your language, okay? So just do whatever you like to do and try to incorporate or include English in there, and the time will fly by and time will no longer be an issue. If you like what you're doing, the time doesn't matter. So there you have it, 10 reasons why your English might not be improving and 10 solutions for you. Now, I just want to remind you that if you do any of these things, or you realize today that you do any of these things or some of them or all of them, that is okay. Do not feel bad. The whole point of this lesson is to help you become more self-aware as a learner and to understand your own behavior as a learner so that you can reach your goals with English. That's the whole point of the lesson, not at all to make you feel bad or feel like you've been making mistakes or learning in the wrong way. Not at all, okay? So if you do any of these things or you have been doing these things, don't stress about it. Today is a day that you can make a change and you can stop doing these things that are not helping your progress. So, as always, thank you so very much for watching and for learning with me, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.